Hey guys, Flex Wonder here with Shamrock Fitness as the 2025 Mr. Olympia, and I'm here with
Daniel Coffeen.
So, how did you get into the fitness industry?
Good question. I was going to say why I was wearing this thing. I just did a food competition and I won. It was awesome. Anyway, how did I get into the fitness industry?
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting story because I was a guy that didn't know what he wanted to do when it came to fitness. I always thought I wanted to be a power lifter, and then I got on CrossFit for a little while, and then when I was in the Army, I got really into cross country running. I wanted to be on the All Army cross country team. So I was had this eclectic kind of relationship with fitness. But in 2020, during COVID, I did my first ever bodybuilding show simply because my next door neighbor was a bodybuilder and he said I could work out with them. But because all the gyms were closed and he had an inn at one of the gyms. So he prepped me for my first show and I had a really awesome time. And so that kind of lit the fire for bodybuilding, and I thought it was really neat. And at that time, I was transitioning out of the military to go to physical therapy school. I wanted to be a physical therapist, and I thought that my love for bodybuilding and what I would learn as a physical therapist could complement each other well and maybe turn into some sort of business. And so that was really kind of my pursuit. And as I was going through school, I did another bodybuilding show, and my posing was what held me back more than my physique, and it was really embarrassing. I didn't want to post any of the photos, and it was just I felt like I had kind of failed myself because I had not prepared for a whole part of the sport. Right? It's a huge part of the sport. I didn't even prepare for it. And it was the same thing my first show too, but again, it was during COVID, so no one saw it.
Yeah.
No one saw it. And the stage photos weren't even, they were just iPhone photos from the side of the stage. So I'd never even really seen what I'd look like. And then when I was in front of a huge crowd of people and I got the photos back and I was like, oh my goodness, that's horrible. And so I realized that if I wanted to do another contest, I would need to learn how to do these poses. And so that started my search for a posing coach, and I couldn't find one. There was a guy at the gym that knew some stuff, but he was kind of unreliable, and who knows if he knows what's really the right thing to do, right? So I started just kind of looking at old photos of Mr. Olympias and other high-level bodybuilders on, in current day, in the past, and I started to see some trends, and I started to kind of see this person is turned more in the side chest than the guy next to him, and he just looks bigger. I know, but the guy that looks smaller is actually bigger, but the guy who's turned more looks bigger. And I was like, okay, interesting. And then during that time, going to physical therapy school, learning about the body, and I started studying the anatomy. And I started to understand the actions of muscles and where they're attached and how they affect joint positions. And I was like, man, this is really similar to posing. If I knew what these muscles do, then I could activate them when I'm supposed to on the stage. And so that kind of began the quest of writing down what needed to happen in each pose, and that's what I did. I literally took a picture of a pose that I thought was a relatively good pose, and then I would break down 6 things. What were the feet doing? What were the knees doing? What were the hips doing? What was the trunk doing? What was the head doing? What were the arms doing? So it's just 6 steps, and I went through every single pose and I wrote out all 6 steps. And then I started putting that on Instagram, and people started saying I was wrong. which is how I knew I was on to something, because I knew I wasn't wrong because I saw Jay Cutler doing it, right? I saw Ronnie Coleman doing it. I saw Flex Wheeler doing it. I'm like, you're telling me I'm wrong? I don't think so. So I just kept doing it, right? And it turned, what it ended up becoming is people saying, hey, you seem to know a lot about this thing. Can you coach me how to do the thing? And I said, yeah, sure. And so I did it for free for a while to kind of test the methods, and the methods worked. And then I started feeling comfortable enough to charge money. And that eventually led to a really, really good living and a very lucrative business model that it's relatively easy to start. Like I didn't have much. I had a phone and a tripod. Like it's what this interview is being had on right now, or the platform you guys are using. This is all I had: a phone, a tripod. I didn't even have a microphone. So yeah, like that's how it began, and that's where I'm at currently. Is I still help people with their posing, and social media and bodybuilding is my entire life, really. Like my hobby became my career, and it's been really awesome.
That's a great story.
Yeah, thanks. I really like telling it, which is how I know that I'm doing the right thing. Like I love telling that story to people, and I love showing people like what's possible. Like again, I was not a good poser whatsoever, but you don't have to be the greatest athlete to be a good coach. You just have to be able to get people to where they want to be.
Yeah. And once again, that's a great story, and I would say also inspirational, because you said at the start your posing wasn't the greatest, and then you became like a great posing coach, and then you think, well, if he started there, then where can I go, or where can someone else go,
Elon Musk says the most entertaining outcome is usually the most likely, and that's exactly what happened. And yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on your show. I'm excited to see the interview and how the people react. And if you ever need posing help, Daniel Coffeen 3 on Instagram. I got a team of awesome coaches that will give you the white glove service, I call it. Teach you everything you need to know about going on stage.
And we were talking about this earlier. You won the food competition. How was that?
Dude, that was cool. I've never done like a competitive eating challenge like that. And when they asked me to do it, I was like, yeah, sure. And I was going to participate. And I had every intention of just like kind of giving my best effort, right? And then I got up there and it was on that big stage, and I was like, you know what? I'm fucking here. Like, I'm here to win. I'm gonna do this thing. And that's
what kind of food was up there?
It was donuts. It was the first one to finish a dozen donuts. And they weren't Krispy Kremes, which I wish. That would have been way easier. They were like the thick donuts. God dang it. Yeah. But it was awesome.
Yeah.
That's my job now, doing crazy stuff on the internet.
Well, thanks for that, and really appreciate your story. Is great. It's pretty inspirational.
Cool, man. Let's hit a flex. Come on. Subscribe, like and subscribe.